Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about farming Celestial Evos. We got a lot to go over. We've got an event right now that's ×3. We're going to go into to the Aether shop and we're going to use a boost here for the 2x Celestials. But before we get started, kind of rolling, we're going to do a whole bunch of stamina runs here, a whole bunch of quick looting. You can see I've got kind of maxed out. I just did the purchase for stamina. We'll talk about that too. But before any of that, we're going to go look at the numbers. Let's set this aside. And I'm going to pull up Excel real quick and we'll talk about some of the numbers here. Actually want to drop this out. Might do some editing. There we go. And minimize. Alright. My son Christian's doing the editing now, which is a huge help. So he'll get rid of all that stuff and we'll come back here. Alright, so a whole lot of numbers. We're going to talk through this. There's a lot of benefit to understanding how all this works together. I've kind of laid it out on Excel, or in Excel here, and we'll get started. So kind of from the beginning, we'll take a look back at the crafting in the game here in just a minute. But if you understand the ability to craft between your different types, so you can do larva evos, regular evos, or monarch evos, and it's 100. These are kind of all equivalent. Try to set it up this way, but it takes 10 larvas to get a regular, 10 regulars to get a monarch. So when you're running levels and you're getting larva evos, there's very, very little value. You really want to focus on levels that give you monarchs. We'll talk more about that later on in the video as well, where to go to find those. All this just to say that you're not making much progress if you're just getting larvas and even regular evos. One monarch just dwarfs all the value for everything else, so focus on those monarchs. Alright, if we step down then to celestial evos. I think most people now know there's two types. There's the common celestial evos, and I've given some examples here, and there's the rare. So the wings don't make a difference, but really it's what comes down to what it takes to make these. We're going to look in, kind of looking across to the game here. We're going to jump back and forth, or we're going to jump back into the game here in a minute. But the common celestial evos are the ones that you can use exclusively monarchs to make. So generally it's 10 of the two dominant color, or the two main color for that one, and then 2 from each of the remaining 3 categories, or the remaining 3 elements. And that gives you 26 altogether. So 10, 10, 2, 2, 2. You get 26 monarchs, and you can make any of the common celestial evos. For the rare celestial evos, you need 2 of the commons plus 20 of the 2 main colors. I think it's exclusively like that. So if it's like a light and a dark, you're going to get 20 monarchs for the light side, 20 monarch on the dark side, and 2 common celestial evos. Well, we know that these are worth approximately 26, or worth exactly 26 evo monarchs each. So you've got 26 plus 26 plus 40. Altogether, that's 92 evo monarchs for the rare type of celestial evo. All right, we just kind of want to get it all together because we want to be able to figure out what the best way of producing these celestial evos that you need. What's the best way, what's the most cost-efficient way to do this, and that's what we're going to be stepping through in this video. Alright, so we want to focus on monarchs. We know the equivalency here for the common celestials versus the more rare ones. I'm just using those names, that even the common ones aren't that common. We're going to look in the game here in a minute, and there are some levels in the upper levels of the challenge mode that give you about a 50% chance for evo monarchs for that monarch type, which means you're going to do 5 energy each time, or 5 stamina, so approximately 10 stamina per monarch. Now, over large numbers, it always works out to be about that. If you run it 5 times, what you're going to get is going to vary, that kind of thing. But if you're just trying to build up a bunch of monarchs, then this is a great way to do it. You want to hit those levels that only give you the option for an evo monarch. Some of them might have a regular evo and a monarch. Those aren't the levels you're looking for. We'll go through the game in just a minute and look at that, just kind of laying some of the base here. Alright, going forward one more step. So, what does all this mean? If you're going to make common celestial evos, you can craft them for effectively, it's going to be 26 Evo Monarchs. It takes about 10 energy or 10 stamina on average to get one of these Monarchs, so it's 260 stamina. Or you can buy them directly, right wherever you need them for a given character. You can click on it, 500 gems, and you can buy that Evo. Or you can go to the Ponage shop and use that currency, those chalices or whatever the Ponage currency is, and you can spend 7,000 currency, and that's another way to get those. You got to wait until they pop up. They're not available all the time, but if you wait long enough, you'll be able to find them, and it costs 7,000 for any of the common ones. Now, similarly, if you are going to farm for them and you're willing to spend the 20 gems to get 50 stamina, that's kind of what I wanted to put in here to just do some equivalencies, like where should you spend your time, where should you spend your gems. If you're going to do that, that's just the first stamina purchase you can do each day. After that, the cost doubles. If you did it, let's say 5 days in a row, you get 250 stamina. That's just about the 260, so a little bit more on average. What I'm saying is that for about 104 gems, you'd get enough stamina that would equate to enough Monarchs to craft one of these Celestial Evos. And that would cost you 104 gems. Compared to buying it directly outright, you'd be spending 500. So it makes sense that if you can take your time, you're always kind of rewarded for that. And this is without any Celestial event. So this is just if you're going to craft them from the Monarchs. So the best route, if you don't have any events going on, I would say, and you've got some time, don't buy them direct. Try to use your regular stamina, depending on what else you need to balance it off with. If you're going to get gold, or you're obviously don't do this during an event. If you're trying to do other stuff, use your stamina there. But overall, if you have stamina, and even if you were planning on spending a little bit of gems, you were thinking about direct, it's better to just farm it over the course of a few days, and then you can get these common Celestial Evos. All right, next step, the rare ones. So really the pain in everyone's butt is to try to accumulate enough to get these rare Celestial Evos. This is the equivalent of 920 stamina. It's a huge jump, right? It's more than a factor of 3. They're much harder to get in terms of stamina. Now, for purchase, they're not nearly 3 times as expensive. So it would be, 780 stamina if they were just 3 times. They're even more here, but they're only a little bit more expensive, less than, something like 50% more expensive in terms of gems. So this is a much better deal. If you were going to buy them outright, you'd want to go to the rare Celestial Evos. You wouldn't ever want to buy common Celestial Evos outright. They're not usually the most limiting thing that you've got anyway, but if you're trying to ration your gems, don't spend them on Celestial Evos. Similarly, at the tower shop, because we know that in terms of stamina, everything kind of come back down to stamina, it's so much more difficult to get these rare ones. That's all you should be purchasing in the Ponage shop. If that's what you're looking for, to use your currency to buy Celestial Evos, always use it on the rare Celestial Evos. Again, more than 3 times more stamina, but only marginally more, only 50%-ish more Ponage currency, 50%-ish more gems. So that's the way to go. If you were going to farm for them over time, again, it's much cheaper still half or less of the gem cost to just do it with the, spend 20 gems, get 50 stamina. It's a pretty good exchange. If it keeps amping up and, the next one is 40 gems for 50 stamina, now you're getting closer. You're still cheaper than buying it outright. If you were going to do that for a few days, it'd still be better overall than just buying it straight outright. But the number goes down. So in terms of where I spend gems, that's one that I never feel bad about. That's usually a pretty good exchange. I want to make a little note in terms of Monarchs. They're crazy expensive. If you're going to spend gems on them, you can buy them directly for 40 gems. If you multiply that out, that's just a huge cost. If you were going to, for example, try to build some of these Celestial Evos that way. Really, really expensive. With the Ponage currency, it's even worse. 1,000 for this when you could get a rare Celestial Evo for 10,000. It's just much, much better to get the most expensive thing. And that's kind of the way this game works in general. All of the payoffs, if you can save up for that best thing, generally that's a rule that they go by. All right. take a little break here for just a second. We're going to transition to the next. And I'm back, like I never left. All right, the next tab. So this is going to get interesting, and maybe it's more fun for some people than others. But we're going to jump into this. If you want to, there's always a discussion online. I think everybody thinks about what is the drop rate for Celestial Evos. We know it's really low. If you go on the website, I've pulled it up somewhere, you're looking around for drop rates, they're listing 1%, but we also know that there's a difference between the rare Celestial Evo drop rate and the more common Celestial Evo drop rate. But I wanted to go with 1% just to make it easier. The way that this works, I can kind of break this down a little bit. It's a binomial distribution. So you're probably not surprised that there's a bit of a math background here. And we're gonna talk through how this works and really just the takeaway. You don't have to understand all the math to get the same takeaway out of it. What we're doing is it's like we're rolling the dice, and I put 6% probability here, or in the decimal form, because I'm betting on that's the 1% probability. I actually think it might be a little bit worse than that, but we'll say a 1% probability for rare Celestial Evos. Those are the only ones I'm going to look for during this set of runs. If it's 1%, and then we've got a ×3 event going on right now, and I'm going to buy the boost that's in the Aether shop, that's a ×2, and we know that those stack so that you get a ×6 times the normal drop rate, so I'm going to call it 6%. Now, if you put in the number of attempts, so if I bought the stamina pack for 1,500, if you divide that by 5, we have 300 attempts that we're going to have from that stamina pack. The 1,500, you can get it for $5, so not a huge investment. And then you get a lot of stamina, you can have a lot of attempts. Here are the attempts, and then we want to find out what is the probability to attain a certain number of Celestial Evos. So if you do 300 of these, the probability of finding only one, this would be only one of them, is really, really small. I mean, the odds are you're going to get many more than that. And so the probability here is for the exact number. So to get exactly 4 Celestials out of 300 attempts, this is the probability, and then on down the line. So if you look down this, you can see that the maximum, the most likely case, is at 18 here. Is it? I think I picked it right. Yep, 18. So 18 Celestials found. For just the stamina pack, if you run it and you do the boost, you should expect the most likely case would be 18. Now, there's only a 10% chance that happens, and then it could be something around this outside, but I think I took above and below, like 5 points above, 5 points below. A lot of the things in the game work this way. There's a lot of probability-based stuff in Dungeon Boss. If you are looking at a span of, say, going from 13 to 24, somewhere around this range, the vast majority, the probability is 80% that you're going to land somewhere in here, 82%. So that's kind of what I pulled off over here. So somewhere in here. It's very unlikely I'm only going to get 5 if the probability is actually 1%. It's very likely that I'll get something in this range. It's also very unlikely that I'm going to get anything above like 30. This is 2% right here, 2% chance that I'll get 25 Celestials when using 1,500 stamina. So it just gives me a good idea, what can I expect? I can expect probably around 18. Now, I'm probably also going to purchase in the Aether shop another 1,000 energy. That would get me to 500 rolls or 500 attempts at these levels. And if I do that, so I jumped over here, then my average number jumps up to about 30. So I can expect about 30 of the rare Celestial Evos if the probability of dropping them normally is 1%. And then I did kind of the same thing. 70% chance that I'd be somewhere in here from 25 to 35. Now I've got a little bit more energy I've saved up through the day and some other things, so I think I can get to 570. It doesn't really change the numbers very much. I can get up to maybe like 34. I'm guessing that the real probability is less than 1%, but we're going to have a pretty good chance to run through a lot and get a good feel for what's going on. All right, so this final thing here another table for some fun. These are the characters, the next ones that I want to get all of the Celestial Evos, and how many I need, how many I have, kind of how I had to just break it on down to see how far down this list could I get. And you could do the same thing, you know, for whatever your next character is, but I really want to know how far down because I don't want to start working on somebody else. You know, if I can only get partway down. If I know I can get 3 characters pretty well completed, that's what I'd rather do rather than have like 5 through one of their ascensions. All right. So looking at this, I added them all up based on what I have right now. I did a count just to find out like how many after I get through Lorelei. I've got 5 Celestial Evos of the rare type that I need. Did a rare and then a common count. And then Niveus went through here, needs just a crazy amount. And then similarly, it gets crazy. But it looks like I will only get, if it's 1%, somewhere around here. If it turns out that it's 1.2%, I would expect to be much further down. It may be that I only get to here, so I'll get to unlock 2 of these, which would still be amazing. Double ascending Lorelei and Niveus, you know, for $5. That's a pretty good return. I would be really happy with that. It looks like there's a very low chance, if it's 1%, that we won't get that far. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And then I'll have kind of the rest of my way to work down. This is the next team I'm working on. And then Moriko as well, once I get done. But he's part of like a different synergy team. And so if I don't get to him, it's all right. I really want to work on this other group. I think they're going to be key for some of the tower opponage stuff, some of the continuing on the chaos levels that are that 4th round through. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to unlock this team. We've got a lot of stuff to do there. So that's it in terms of the numbers. I hope that wasn't too bad. We're going to pull the game back up. Go back to full screen here. And keep making progress. We might even break this up. All right. Let's get that volume up one more. Now you can see the energy here. I'm at 1800. I'm going to go into the Aether Shop, to the boosts, do this ×2 Celestials for 2 hours. All right, awesome. And maybe we'll come back and we'll do the extra stamina here in a little bit. I kind of want to see how does this go with the numbers we've run. Does it look like we're getting the results? So we should be, what was it? Something around 20 is what we would expect if there was a 1%. All right, so the first person we want to get to is Lorelei. And the Shadow. So similarly, if we thought we were going to get 20, we should expect something like 1 every 100. I'm going to go here. And we'll start quick looting this. It's going to take a ton of keys, something like 500. And I may end up ×2 speeding this or something, because we're going to go through a lot. And it's going to be easier if I can just keep tapping, even if we get one. We'll just go right by it. Hopefully I'll still catch it. But it's a lot of rolling. I think this would be helpful to see too, just to try to nail those numbers down. Gives you a good feel. If you invest this much energy and the ×2, what are you going to get out of it? So one thing I want to do before we go any further, there we go. I wanted to show that event down there at the bottom, the 600%. So that's how you know that those things are stacking, just in case there's any debate how that worked or if they would stack. Oh, we got our first one. So I didn't really keep track, but something like 50 stamina in, maybe a little bit more. I know we need quite a few astral, so even if we go over and I miss it, it's not a big deal. Let's see if we can get our next one. We're going to get a lot of other stuff out of this too. You can see we're getting a lot of light monarchs as well. which should be really nice. I think dark monarchs are the ones I'm missing over anything else in terms of monarchs. Get our next one. This one's taking a little longer. See that purple chest? Nope. Making me nervous for taking too much of our energy. We need to lock this astral down. Move on to the next thing. Plenty of monarchs in there though. It's hard to tell with the probability as low as it is, whether it's 1% or something else that's anywhere near that. We could just get unlucky for a little bit, could go through 200, 250 energy, not get it. We could end up getting 2 in a row. It's just hard. We really need to run through a lot of the stamina to get a better feel for that rate. But we're going to have a lot to do today, so hopefully you guys will get a good show. If we can get up to something like 15 or 20, I think we'll have a better feel of the rate. If we come away with only 8, something like that, it's going to be frustrating for me. Let's see. Feel that sadness. So much stamina going away. Oh, there we go. We got it. All right. Yeah, I'm just clicking it continuously, so it's hard to stop on the right one, but we got what we needed, and we can go ahead and send her. There we go. Lorelei got her first one. Took a little more than we were expecting. Hard to know. Oh man, we gotta do even more. We gotta do so many of these right away. Alright, so I guess Astral now. And this is another one of the, especially we actually want to go back real quick. We'll collect on that quest just to make sure it gets reset. And it looks like it was keeping a counter, but I just wanted to make sure. I hate to be wasting any of that. If we go back to crafting, I probably should have talked about this earlier, but this is what I was saying. Like these are the ones that are common. I think a lot of people are familiar with this, but if you can create it with only monarchs, then it's one of the more common ones. If it's like Shadow here, and you need to have the monarchs that make it up, so we've got light and dark, and then you're also going to need 2 commons, then it's the more rare of these Celestial Evos. Alright. I think that was all I needed to show on that. And we'll go back. And roll some more of this stamina away. Alright. If you got a little bit more time, you could try to at least run a few of these and make sure you pick up the tokens on the other ones, but there's not going to be a lot of benefit from that. You've got to try to replenish your Aether supplies, but you don't get a whole lot from these common tokens anyway. So we can get our first. There we go, got our first one. Not too bad, wouldn't mind 2 more just like that. We started with 1800, so we've gotten 3, or 400 through. It's a little worse than expected, but like I said, I kind of didn't think that it really was going to be 1%. at least for the rare Celestial Evos, and those are the only ones we're going for. I think if we went for the common ones, we'd get them much more quickly. This makes me think too, when we're going through this, the nature type I actually do need quite a bit, quite a few more monarchs. I think of the three, of fire, nature, and water, nature is my lowest. I've got a lot of fire and a lot of water, like almost endless amounts compared to the other ones. Hundreds, I think I got 500 for one of them, maybe more, but nature's pretty low. And then light and dark are both pretty low for me. Those are kind of like limiting in the ability to make more of these Evos. I looked at in making the spreadsheet, I looked at which common Celestial Evos I needed, and all of them included light or dark, so I'm still limited on monarchs. If there were any Celestial Evos that I could make out of primarily the water or fire, I would have gone ahead and done those. I just made them that way because I've got lots and lots of those monarchs. Burning through a lot. One thing that's curious for me, or a curiosity, there are some of the upper levels, I think they use more energy anyway, or more stamina, but the only thing you can get, there we go. So I want to double check that I didn't miss one. No, we still need one more. Alright. So, well, not even that. There's some, I'll take a quick minute here. I don't think it's an Age of Chaos, but it might be. Alright, yeah, so some of these, I think Subterranean's common, I can't really remember, so I did same one. But Arcane here, it would be interesting to me to know if the drop rate changed. You know, we're using twice as much energy, twice as much stamina there. I wouldn't want to dump a lot into this unless I knew that the rate was higher. So that's something, I don't know if anyone's got any information on that, but it was a curiosity for me. Where in the places where we have only a single Evo drop, we're seeing higher drop rates. But it's hard to tell if that's, you know, if that's just an example there for the monarchs in those levels. I'm going to show you those levels real quick too. So if we go over to like these levels, where there's the only potential Evo drop is a monarch, then we've got about a 50% drop rate. I've tried these out for lots and lots of stamina. That's where I spend a lot of my extra stamina. At the end of the day, if I'm just going to quick loot and finish it up, then that's where I'll go. Usually for light, dark, or nature, light or dark with kind of a heavier preference. But if you look at a level like this, where there's 3 different options, then you're not getting anywhere near as good of a return for your Evo materials. All right, we'll go back and breaking it up a little bit, but I wanted to make a note to mention those things. So if anyone has any information on that, if the rates go up a lot, I don't want to... Oh, there we go. That was what I was looking for. Something like that, where we get lucky right away. Now we can do her second evolution. At some point before too long, I'll put out a video on Lorelei. I was excited. I haven't seen these either yet, so... Nice. This is going to be... It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a flying team that I'll be working on. I know a lot of other, you see some of the higher end players that already have this team and they're running with it, or some variation. But anyone who watches the channel knows that I really like those sustain teams with some healing, and Lorelei's going to be the backbone for that healing. So good to go there. Now, Nivius or Alrakis, you guys should know that I'm horrible at pronouncing these names. One of these two, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through both of them, especially with how badly that rolling was going. But let's go ahead with this guy. It feels like arcane runes are just always in short supply. Let's see what we can do. We need so many of these. I feel like I'll be rolling on this level forever. Let's get started. We could probably drop 1,000 stamina here and not have all the arcane runes that we need, or arcane celestial evos. Come on, arcane. I want to be able to see him while we're rolling for him. It's a lot to, I wish that I had like a developer account or something so I could test out those other levels. It's just a lot to sacrifice that much stamina to not know if the drop rate's any different. Because you're not getting, there's nothing else that's going to really benefit me. My next big step is ascending these characters. And it just takes so many materials for these guys. Those 2 dragons just have crazy amounts of celestials that are needed. I didn't end up running these numbers in the spreadsheet, but I kind of wanted to come up with the stamina equivalent for all of the celestials that they need, because it's got to be crazy. It would take you, with normal stamina and without these extra drop rates, if we knew it was like whatever 920 for each one of the celestials, so it would take like more than a month. Oh, there we go, we got one. That wasn't even too bad. So we're on 6, and it's been 800. That's not horrible. I mean, I think if we dropped the rate on our spreadsheet a little bit, like to not 1%, but 0.8% or something, we'd probably be pretty in line with these numbers. Oh, we got another one. We had that unlucky streak with Lorelei. That came right in. And even that, I mean, we're doing everything we can here to get a bunch of Celestials, but even if we can only fully ascend 2 characters, it's only $5. And then, you know, the boost from the Aether shop, it doesn't really cost that much. You know, some people, if you're earlier in the game, you might not have enough to do any boosting, anything like that, and kind of sucks. I don't know if there's not a better way around that other than trying to fully start up some characters and then start continuing to run those levels so you can build up to get to that 2,500 mark. It's a really helpful boost. Carpal tunnel in my hand or something. Really helpful boost to get through, you know, ascending. I feel like it is a huge bonus. The amount that we're going to be getting from this is, you know, it's really going to help with my progress. There's one other thing that I would like to get from the Aether shop, and it's a skin for one of these characters, but I feel like sending them first is going to be a higher priority, and then we can go into ways to try to farm Aether as well, I guess, you know, because it's going to take a lot to get that skin, and this is going to grow my account, like improve the strength of the account a lot more than that skin is. This is also going to end up being by far the longest video. You're still there, hanging in there. Good job. Hopefully, you know, I'll do a sum up at the end of this. Try to put it in the description or something. Got another one. I think that's 3. I want to check real quick. Just make sure. Oh, 4. I must have missed one. It really hasn't been that bad. So when we get our next one, we will have gotten 5 rare Celestial Evos, and we've used just over 1,000. So there was 5. So we're good to go there. Alright, back out, and we can do his first ascension. Sweet, look at all those little horns and ice cubes, I guess. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing with these characters. One little decision I made, little decision, just a small decision, was that I'm not even gonna try to do any of the common ones. So I think Cold Fire I think Cold Fire is one of the common ones. I'm going to go back and check. Yeah, so it's common because you buy it for 500. That's not the reason it's common, but that's how I can see from this screen. Astral is, is the more... Astral and Diamond are the two that are more difficult to get here. So I'm going to focus on those, knowing that it's easier for me to farm and a lot cheaper for me to farm those common ones, because it only takes 260 energy each. I can do it when I don't have this this boost running or something. So I'm not going to do that, but these are going to take a ton, so we'll go for these. Let's see, we'll get started with this one just to mix things up. We need 4. Let's hope we can get it for less than 400 stamina. So we're averaging just over 100 stamina per rare Celestial Evo. It's not bad, considering how hard it is to get them any other time or any other way. If we're similarly looking back to the spreadsheet, we saw that if we were farming for a common Celestial Evo, our best case scenario was, well, it's going to take 260 stamina, something like that. 260? Somewhere like that. And that's when there's no event going on. So knowing that we're getting these for about 100 for the rare ones, that would normally take 900 if you're going to try to craft them out of Monarch Evos. It just tells you what a massive difference it makes. Also, yeah, I'm having epiphanies as we talk about this. So if it's times 6, and we're using about 100 energy, about 100 stamina, then if it was 6 times worse, then we'd expect it to be about 600. And let's say we're not really averaging 100. I'm not paying attention at all to what we're getting, because I'm thinking about this. So let's say it's actually 120. So 6 times that would be 720, which is still cheaper than the 900 and whatever it was, 60 or 20 or something like that from creating it with a Monarch. Which, oh man, that's good. So that's the other benefit to getting stamina, is that you can level up. I'm using a crap ton of keys. I don't know if I can curse or not. Somebody let me know in the comments. What are the rules on YouTube? Anyway, so another 100 energy, we'll put that to good use. That'll give us likely almost another Celestial. Let's go in here and see what we've gotten. So we did get one. We still have 3 more to go. We'll get back in here. Alright, so all that nonsense I was saying really just comes down to, it seems to me that if all these numbers are correct and we get through and we end up with that same ratio, that while it's really incredibly frustrating to just do this without the Evo Boost event, that it still seems to be more efficient to do it rather than crafting Monarchs. So I'll say that again. I just went through the spreadsheet. That's the route that I've used for some things. Well, I already did this once before as well, with my last boost, and tried to get as many of these Celestial Evos as I could. But when I need a specific Celestial Evo, I have done some crafting to get them. But it looks like, according to these numbers we're getting, if it keeps up that way, then it looks to me like it's better to just roll and try your luck and just keep dumping your extra energy, your extra stamina into rolls even when there's no event going on. It seems like that would average out to be about between 700 and 750, maybe 800 stamina per rare Celestial Evo, which isn't great. It's going to take days, and it's going to, sometimes you might get to 1200 or something like that, but really what we're looking for is on average, because you end up needing a ton of these. And it's something you're working toward, you're grinding for over a long period of time. It's kind of stuff, that's the kind of information in this game that it's what's interesting to me, trying to get like the community information for what is the fastest way to approach something, to get to that goal, to ascend your characters. Whether or not some of the runes stack, some of the things like that. That kind of testing is really interesting. see the next one come up. I'll check the numbers again, since I'm rambling and not really paying attention. And I don't think we... Oh, there we go. Alright. Oh! Pulled out a little quickly. Okay, so we need one more. So I'm going to pay attention a little bit more, because I don't think we actually need a ton of these diamond ones. Like, other than her, I don't think there's a bunch on our list. Arcane, I think we could go all day long. Alright, so I'll pay a little bit better attention now. I just need that last one. And once we get it, we'll have gotten 14 celestial evos. Come on in, John. Like the one slower or something. Oh, Ellie, I am. You can make an appearance though. Probably get the ratings up. Oh, we got. It's a good thing I stopped. Okay, so we got everything we need here. And astral. So we're running lower on energy, and I don't recommend this, but this is what we're going to do. I've still got 25,000 Aether currency, whatever this is. I'm going to go ahead and spend it here. I would say, for most people who don't do this, like I said, what I really want is to get this skin, but for the sake of the video and science, we're going to go ahead and use that to buy more energy. Just going to max out. We're going to do this too. And we'll go back and see how far we can get. So I won't be evolving him or ascending him today because we're not going to have the cold fire. But look at that real quick. I was mentioning this is dark evos are my limiting factor. There's no issue for water. We'll be good all day long. I can make as many of these as needed. But I'll keep dumping into dark. Go real quick here and just, oh, not there. Look at this. So I mentioned nature's low, light's low, dark's low. Keep filling those in. But it's easy to do those during the week when there's no other events going on. Alright, we'll keep going with this. Alright, we need 8 of these. Even though we had horrible luck last time, we'll keep going. And the quick loot keys would be an issue for a lot of people too. That's something I worry about a lot. It's just, if you didn't have quick loot keys, this would be a nightmare. I just wouldn't even attempt it. Events seem to be the best place to get lots of quick loot keys. There's not an equivalent version. If you're buying stamina, you're going to end up, obviously, on average, using more quick loot keys. I think my VIP level is 4 or 6, so I get something like 16 or 20, so I would just pop one in right there. Just got one. But it's nowhere near enough. I'm always like hovering or losing them on a regular basis. Then events come around and sometimes they boost them up a little bit, but doing this once a month is going to drop these off in a big way. I think if I do this and we get through 2 of the characters in a month, we could get through the other 2 and might be able to do like 2.5 each one of these times, and there's a bunch of time in between. So definitely within the next month, got another one there, we'll have everybody full ascended. Which would be pretty sweet. I'm really looking forward to this team. I don't know, I'd like to hear about the other teams you guys are using. This team looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying the team that I made recently, that Thrax and Grandar and Serenity. And then I've kind of got an open slot. You see, when for dungeon runs or for raiding, a lot of people put Moroku in there. Looks really good. Man, we're getting a good run here. Stop counting on some of these. Okay, we had 3. I guess maybe I did see all those. Still, not terrible. Cancel. That's not what I want. Oh. Alright, well, let's not waste it. Go here. here. That's probably more than we need. That brings up another good point. I wish they would do something about this. So you can hit the mass salvage button. What I want is just to be able to select like anything that's improved or under, maybe anything that's greater and under. I want to be able to mass salvage all of it without clicking on everything. Just a few like quality of life bonuses, just benefits here. There's one, like one maybe I've used in the past. I don't even want to deal with that anymore. We'll just get rid of that. I think when I was starting out, I didn't have good runes. The terrible thing is if you click off after you've like done all this, and it resets, you're gonna do it all over again. All right, go to nature. We'll do it because I don't want to get stuck on this again. One more run through this. That's not it. Okay. Scan down here. If you're like me, you only end up using a few of the best ones anyway. All the rest of these are just fodder. Just gives you something to click away on. Alright. Salvage those and we'll keep moving. My son plays this game now too. I actually played quite a while ago and then didn't for a bit, and now he's playing again. Just like me. And I'm hoping to get him on the channel before too long. Oh, got another one. Nice. He's been doing the editing. It's really helping out. Big thanks to Chun. We're often talking about kind of how to optimize this, how to grow. His account's a little lower level. I think he's down around 40. He started a new account just in kind of when I started this back up again. And it would be interesting to see his account on here sometime for any of the like lower level accounts. Talk about what he's doing as well. He helped me out through the day, even bought him a stamina pack. He's all set. Growing that account, leveling up. So we were talking the other day about really a bunch of quality of life improvements that would be nice for the game, just to make things a little bit easier. Not easier challenge-wise, just some of the things that seem unnecessary. For anyone who's watching this in real time, we got the Thanksgiving event that's going to be coming right up. It'll be interesting to see all the whatever dungeons they put out and the rewards. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll get a video out related to that event as well. I'm sure it'll be a nice big one. They always come through with good events for us, especially for the bigger holidays. More than we'll see where we're at again. I feel like we drained them. We drained all the Celestial Evos out of this. They're just not there anymore. It's like when you're watching, it takes longer. Go back to rambling about stuff. Apparently it's astral. That's our nemesis. We can't ever seem to get a good roll going with them. It's taking all the stamina. It's the dry spell. Something else I hadn't thought about. I want to check real quick where we're at. Still need 4 more. It's like, feels like forever away. Alright, what I want to make sure... Check some of these lower. I don't know if there's any of these that I really needed to level up. But I feel like, yeah, we're going to be maxed out on some of this stuff. I don't know that I care about those, but I do need some of these to be drained down a little bit. We didn't quite max it out, so maybe not that big a deal. We don't have to go down all the way. We'll get a few of these in so we're not just totally wasting everything. Let's see if we get down to 500. You hate to cap it and miss out on the stuff. Alright, we'll go back. Probably stick with it. Needed a little break anyway. They needed they needed to replenish their stock. There it is. That's what we need to do. We just need to step away. And we need to do it again. Need like that's what's making me superstitious. There we go, 2 in a row. And this is that dry spell. It was taking it to me. I couldn't take a lot more of that. And there's a 3rd one, and watch, it'll be like super long to wait for the final one so we can stop doing this level. I've also lost track of where we are. We got 8. Okay. Okay. All those right in a row, close that out. So we're good. That took forever, but that was 8. And what did we get previously? I don't remember now. Something. I think that's 18 total. No, it was 8 for that one. I think 10 for her previous, and 4 of these. So was that 22? I'd have to look at the spreadsheet. You know what? This is long form. We can do that, right? No, she only needed 5. So 5 and his first 5. So we're at 10, and we did all the astral, and we did all the diamond. Yeah, so that is. We got 22. That's not bad. Alright, we'll go back here again. With this much energy, we were thinking like 30 total. We're pretty much on track. Since I'm going to leave that one there, I might go ahead over here and go back to Arcane and try our luck over here. I'm a little worried trying to get all those cold fire, all the common ones. It just does take a lot of energy. Actually, it might not hurt. We'll go over and see how quickly they come. I feel like we've kind of proven their point with the really rare Celestials. This has given us a lot of information. Well, I can't do all the... But we've used something like 1500 before. Gotta be near 2000, so we're really still not far from the about 100 energy, maybe 120 on average, 115, 110. Something like that, but it's not 200. In terms of like the average energy use for this. We'll get our first astral, and maybe we'll go back over and try to hunt a few cold fire ones and see how quickly those come up. go over and here and let's just see. Let's just see what happens. All right, cross your fingers if you're still around, still watching. Got a token. Got one right away. Second roll. 6. That's 50. 50 stamina. Not really what I want. I really want them to come quickly. I swear, I did some of these last time, and they did seem to have a lot higher drop rate. I'm not going to drain too much into this. I might go down to 500 just to feel like we're being fair. There we go, second one. But I don't feel like it's an even exchange. It's way too little data to say anything about it. But third one, I don't know. Just knowing they don't make it equivalent for the other stuff, it makes me more worried. Meaning, if looking at those spreadsheets, you could make really expensive, inefficient decisions, or you could do it the cheaper, easier way. And it's not like any path will get you to the same place in the same amount of time. It is highly preferential to take one route over another. I'm doing this. Alright, there's my next one. I don't drain any more there. We're gonna go back over here. I mean, we did get 3. It's not terrible, and I think we spent something like 180 or 150. What are other options? Just so many questions. So many questions on, is it because there's, we're in a further level, does that change the drop rates? But they also have 3 options, and when there's only 1 option, you get a better drop rate, or there's actually 4 options here. I don't know. We've still done pretty well. We've gotten a lot of materials. We've got a good route to do this in the future as well, like in a month from now, and also I think it gives me enough information to know that just running these levels for them, even though it feels like you're dropping stamina into a black hole, even when there's no boost, is still probably a more efficient route to go. Rather than trying to build them with monarchs. Man, this is really long though. If you guys hung in there, you deserve all of the information you're getting from this. I hope it speeds your ascensions along. It's been helpful for me. It was helpful to make that spreadsheet. It's helpful to get the information on actually rolling it and seeing how this worked out. I feel like the numbers actually did come out pretty close. We're in another one of our dry spells, but we've had pretty good success. It's also just a lot of progress to make in like an hour. For $5, I could have had 2 fully ascended characters if I wanted to stick to cold fire. We'll be on our way with this one as well. We're just rolling nothing. Have I missed something? I missed it when I was talking earlier or something, or we're just not getting any of these. I appreciate the level. Oh, there we go. It's just sad 2. Just 2. Just work away on 2 again. Alright. This is what I was mentioning earlier. I feel like I'm hopping around a lot. These two are the 7,000 ones. These are the common ones. And then right here you can get an arcane, you can get astral, you can get any of the rare celestial evos. That's what I'm holding out for. I do try to run this every day. My team generally doesn't make it all the way, but that's where I would spend that currency. I want to go ahead and see if we can finish that one off. I see some indecision here. Also, why are they asking me again? I know I'm making bad decisions. Just let me make them. What's this guy give me? Just want to see what my options are. Alright, we'll go back to it again. If we're gonna make this kind of long form stuff, I really need Christian to join me to make it a little bit more fun. Get a monologue for however long this is. Let's finish this guy up. Oh, another one. I lose track on this lot. Alright, one more. Let's finish it. There we go. Alright, man. They do come faster. It's still frustrating, but it's not as frustrating. I've been looking forward to unlocking these guys. You just bear with me for a second. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to get them all boosted up. Let's ascend him. Take a look at this. Notice what it was. Does the sash get bigger or something? I don't know, but he looks... Ooh, that'll be fun too. It's another place to drop some stamina into in a little bit. I was pretty bummed that Thrax doesn't have an epic. But all these meta characters have got epics, and then Thrax just no epic for him. He's been out for a long time, no epic. Very disappointing. Immense sadness in my day was ruined. Alright, let's put this last 120 to work. Can we get one more arcane? Maybe. Maybe we can. There we go! I mean, there's nothing else. We got the boost going on. We gotta just keep going. Oh, maybe they were just holding out. We got another one. It's crazy. You either get it here, or I'm gonna spend 1,000 stamina trying to do it with no boost. It would be a pretty great finish. So the hard part is that now I really want it, and there's not enough energy left. We got it! This is not a very expressive person, as it turns out, but we got it, and now we've got him to his first ascension, and I mean, it's going to be a lot to get all of this. Shadow and Crypt. That one will be easy. Stormwind we can. That's a common one. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just thinking of how I can rush through the rest of these two hard ones. As I mentioned, I wouldn't want to just buy them outright. We've got the gems. We don't quite have enough gems for that, but I bet I can get these done before the next stamina event. It's just going to be a lot of grinding, but also it's going to be a lot of fun for this team. I'm pretty happy with all those rolls. We got a ton of stuff. We got I don't know the numbers anymore. It's been a long video, but we got a lot, and I think we kind of showed that 1% is pretty close to where that should be for the rare Celestial Evos, which means the common ones are even higher than that. Which means any amount of stamina you tell me, I can probably predict pretty well within a range how many of those, at least for a higher amount of stamina, how many Evos you're going to get. I'd say this is probably the best way to get a lot of Celestial Evos quickly. If you're willing to spend $5 and you can get that boost, then you can really. I mean, we just got 2 characters fully ascended, another one ascension, and there's a few other materials there, but the other ones are easier to get a hold of. So all that stuff looked great. I'm gonna stick with it. We've nailed it on what is needed. Where do you go? Like I said, one more time, just a quick recap. Tower Ponage, only get the rare Celestial Evo. Only get the one that's 10,000. Never get the 7,000 ones. They're a waste. In terms of crafting, it does appear that you shouldn't do any. You shouldn't craft these in general. You shouldn't craft the more expensive ones unless you absolutely have to. You've only got one. You're having a terrible time. After all of our testing, it seems like we've come to the conclusion that you should just roll for them. Even if there's no boost, it's going to be more probable to get them that way. If you end up having, say you've got a bunch of the Monarchs for, just no reason, they're just laying around, sure, go ahead and craft them. But if you don't have enough materials, you're going to either have to collect Monarchs or farm for this one. Go ahead and farm it. You just got to keep dumping it in, dumping your stamina in there, even if there's no event going on. That's my takeaway from running all the numbers we did, and also from doing the actual testing, from rolling all these times. If our average to get one of these rare Celestial Evos is about 110 energy, I'll go back, I'll put it in the description or something, then 6 times that, if it's 6 times less likely, then you should be good. You're still less than that 920 or 960 or whatever it is mark. So those are my takeaways, and unless you really have to, don't buy it for gems. That one makes sense, that they would make it really expensive. Do go ahead and at least the first 20 gems for 50 stamina. It's a good deal, especially if you're trying to spend something on ascending. That's your next limiting factor for growing your account, for getting more power. Then that's a good investment there. So I think we've accomplished it. We've got all the information we could. If you stuck around, man, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. I hope this stuff was helpful. I had a lot of fun putting it together. We'll talk to everyone soon. We'll see ya.